Describe. So this question starts with the word describe. On your final exam, they give you a formula sheet and a terminology sheet. And on the terminology sheet, they have 9, 10 different keywords that they want you to know what they mean. And one of them is describe. Describe, according to the exam, is going to mean that you can use words and words only. So sometimes it's going to say describe something and you're like, oh, I just want to show a graph to show why that's true. I don't want to explain it in words. They're not good. They've told us when we're marking it, put your hand over top of the graph and just read their words. Does it make sense what they're trying to say? Or do they need that graph to be able to explain it? And if they need the graph, then you're going to lose marks for clarity. So describe, we want to use words only. Now this unit applies itself really well to using words only for these describe questions, because here we have our parent graph. It's a 1 over x squared graph. And so we're going to be looking for that in our equation. I've got these numbers on the side here. So I'm going to take the time to move that 3 over. If this is my original function, 1 over x squared, can you see that that's right here? Unchanged. The only thing that changes is we have a plus 3 after that. Okay? So how would we describe that in words? So we want to describe how it could have been translated. So we could say the graph of y equals 1 over x squared has been translated 3 units up. And then for part B, same thing. I'm going to move things over. So again, I see, oh, that'll be -4 now. I see that there's something happening after the function, but now I also notice that where the x was, and the x was on the bottom of the function getting squared, now there is an additional plus 3 inside where the x was. So this graph has been translated three units left and 4 units down. So there are 2 command words that are words only. One of them is describe, and the other one is explain. The explain one I think is even harder, because those ones often are very tempting to use equations, but you need to use words only. Okay, questions for this one are 16 and 17. Oh, did I not finish it? Okay, yes. And what are the equations of the asymptotes for each graph? So in our original graph, thank you for noticing that, we had the following 2 asymptotes. If we move things up, well, the x equals 0 will stay the same, but the y equals 0 will now be at y equals 3. And if I was graphing this, that would be the first thing I would graph. I would graph my asymptotes in my new places. In the second one, where we are moving 3 to the left and 4 down, well, now our asymptote that was at x equals 0 when it's moved 3 to the left will be at x equals -3. And The one that was at 0 when you move 4 down will be at y equals minus 4. So questions 16 and 17, we didn't have to do domain and range, which was nice.